This segment of the news is brought to you by Smitty's Cards and Coins. Would you like to know what your collectibles are worth? Come by 2281 Postal Road, Unit 4, across from the post office.
Welcome back to News 46. A former special effects artist lost some old explosive materials to a fire in one of his storage bins on his property. Fire crews had to fight the blaze from behind a large mound of dirt on the property, fearing an explosion could happen at any time.
Last night we were dispatched to report of an unknown type fire. There was a smoke condition presenting in the area, so the neighbors didn't know exactly what they had. They were searching and didn't have any flame showing, but they did in fact have this smoke condition. So they called the fire department. We responded, confirmed that there was a smoke condition. Traveling down approximately probably almost a quarter-mile driveway, and down behind some tree cover, we found a Connex box with smoke presenting from it. So apparently it was a structure fire, but it wasn't your typical occupied structure. It was a large Connex container. The contents were on fire. Crews opened up the Connex container and found that they had ordinary combustibles. However, they also had some black powder, which was in quantities that could cause some serious harm. There was also some other devices that were in this particular area. So crews did a defensive exterior attack. They used some of the nearby dirt mounds to use a protective cover and utilize what was called defensive exterior attack, lobbing volumes of water into the area to cool the material down as fast as possible. Fire was contained and controlled within a short time. There were no injuries, and there was no explosions as a result of the material contained.
Was there a residence in close proximity?
There was other containers as well as a primary dwelling that was in relatively close proximity. If there had been a detonation of some materials in there, it would have been significant.
Were the homeowners at home at the time?
They were very cooperative. They were allowed us, kind of told us what was in there, the quantities, things like that. So it afforded us the opportunity to have the best suppression tactics possible.
Do you have any clues how the fire started at this point?
That's the only thing that eludes us at this point is what the ignition source would be, so it is under investigation.
And let's go to Eunette Gentry with your court report.
In this week's court report, the Pahrump man arrested for allegedly shooting a male victim on the 4th of July after also allegedly physically assaulting a female who is the mother of his child was scheduled in court today. Shondaro Marcel Thomas was scheduled for his formal arraignment in Justice Court to face the charges of attempted murder with use of a deadly weapon, battery with use of a deadly weapon resulting in substantial bodily harm, assault with a deadly weapon, and robbery. Thomas is also facing the charge of domestic battery in a separate companion case related to this incident, which occurred in the 2800 block of Dandelion Street. During Thomas's first appearance, the court appointed public defender Harry Gensler to represent the defendant in this matter. Notably, Thomas was also scheduled for a sentencing hearing in Justice Court today for a separate traffic-related case in which he's charged with driving without a valid license and fictitious or suspended revoked registration, plate, or title, after being cited back in February 2016. Regarding Thomas's recent shooting allegation case, he remains in custody, $203,000 cash or bond. The local man who was considering taking a plea deal offered by the state for a laundry list of charges, including lewdness with a child under 14, sexual assault with a child under 14, and first-degree kidnapping, has now been sentenced for a separate case charge. Brian Patrick Hearn was sentenced in district court to 19 to 48 months in prison with 254 days credit for time served, plus a total of $28 in fees after being charged with attempt to obtain money under false pretenses. During sentencing, Hearn apologized prior to the court admonishing the defendant for his actions. In a separate case, Hearn previously faced a total of 20 charges involving the alleged sexual abuse of his then 8-year-old and 11-year-old stepdaughters. The young victims alleged the suspect sexually abused them for several months. The area man charged on suspicion of child abuse and obstruction of a public officer prior to facing the formal charge of child abuse and neglect recently had his arraignment hearing continued for the third time. Davin Obar was arrested following an investigation which alleged that Obar was responsible for causing numerous cigarette burns on the arms, leg, back, and chest of an 11-year-old child who was residing in his home. During his last proceeding, Obar's attorney informed the court that he has been working on negotiations and requested to continue this matter one more final time. The state had no objections, so the district court continued this matter to August 11th. This has been your court report. I'm Eunette Gentry for News 46.
Thanks, Eunette. The Potosi Fire remained at 420 acres today, and containment reached 75%. Passing thunderstorms created wind gusts of 25 miles per hour over the area, which resulted in isolated torching of trees. However, there were no changes to the fire perimeter. The fire will transition to a Type 4 organization at the end of the shift today. Excess resources will be reassigned to other fires in the region. Firefighters will continue to mop up and patrol the fire perimeter until full containment is reached over the next several days.
This week, Nye County road crews will be busy shouldering Charleston Park Boulevard and patching potholes throughout Pahrump. Later in the week, crews will be doing an asphalt overlay at the intersection of Money Street and Mance Road. In Belmont, county road crews will begin patching potholes and clearing broken asphalt on Belmont Road.
Some good news there.
Yes, always room for road improvements.
We'll have your Business First brief right after this. All right.